can't be late. It takes too
What
long.
do you do to get into a deep, relaxing state of meditation? What's your key formula? Like, what do you use?
Well, in today's day and age, it's hard to get. Our brain operates under different wavelengths. You have the beta all the way to the theta. And when you're in the theta state, that's the flow, essentially the flow state. And the beta is like the monkey brain, where you're not really focused. And what I like to do to get in the theta state is the deep breathing. I do the Wim Hof breathing. I do rounds of that at least a few times a day, or right before a meditation session especially. It's the deep breath in and deep breath out. Wim Hof method, baby.
Try not to put your hands in front of your face that much so people could see your face, because you're covering your face when you put your hands up. I was going to take that part out. And then, so, with your meditation... Okay. So with your meditation, what makes you stay motivated to work out at the gym?
Motivated to work out at the gym?
Do you incorporate your meditation at the gym?
I will before I work out sometimes, yeah. Just like in the parking lot before I go in, I'll do a round of the Wim Hof, 11 minutes of the deep breathing. Kind of get me ready before I go into the gym. And then I just like to envision like the highest form of myself, that I'm like essentially just a being of pure light.
Being of pure light?
Being a pure light, walking into the gym. Because we're all energy, we're all light. So I just like to envision myself as not really as a physical form, just as a being just like of pure light. Like of glowing light. I close my eyes and that's who I am, that glowing light that just shines outward for everyone to see. And then I carry that energy into the gym a lot of times. I like to do that.
So when you meditate and channel being a being of pure light, am I wrong?
That's right.
That's right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you feel like you're being of pure light at the gym, besides feeling like a being of pure light, what are the feelings that makes you feel? How do you feel when you're at the gym and you incorporate that feeling of being of pure light? How does it make you feel? The emotions.
Well, it really elevates my energy. If I'm having a low energy day, it'll just boost my energy throughout the gym. And the emotions I feel are that of just like
good emotions,
good emotions.
Good,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it help you become confident?
Yeah. I've struggled with confidence issues for most of my life, I'd say. My teenage years, especially. Because I didn't really have I had my dad, but he didn't really... I'd only see him on the weekends because my parents split when I was young.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a real father figure in my life, and I think that lack of the father figure kind of affected my confidence in knowing who I am and the power within myself, because no one really taught me how powerful we actually are. People don't tell you that. So I struggled with confidence issues my whole life, but when I've done all my own studies on how to elevate my own self. So when I do that visualization of a pure light, it really affects my confidence in a positive way.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So when you were struggling with confidence,
mm-hmm.
as I know you now, you are one of the most confident people that I know, the most strongest people at the gym lifting heavy weights.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to... You're 32 years old now. And 33 years old now. So
33 now.
If you were to speak to the 21-year-old version of yourself and to help that
Mhm.
version of yourself to be more confident and to be more powerful within,
Mhm.
what would you tell that version of yourself?
See, when I was 21, I was really stuck on the fact that things are stagnant, and how my emotion was in within that moment, and how I felt about myself, and how I perceived the world within that moment, that it would be like that forever. That's just how it would be. So I would go and I would tell myself, things change. Everything's changing. Every day is a new opportunity, a new way to look at things. Every day and every new day is a new way to train your mind to become powerful, and just the things you tell it within yourself changes, and that changes your whole reality. So that's the first thing I would say. I would say that how you see the world now, it's going to change, and it will change if you practice meditating, positive thinking, you know, those things. And then the second thing I'd say is that you're more powerful than you know. The power you have within yourself is that of we're all gods within ourselves, and to harness just a little bit of that energy, all you need to harness a little bit of that energy, and it'll carry you anywhere you need to go in life.
So, do you believe that there is a God outside of ourselves, or there's a God within ourselves? And do you believe in Jesus, or do you believe that we are God?
I personally, I believe that we are gods, and that everything's connected, and that the power of like the subconscious mind, that is like God within us, and that within everything, everywhere.
So, what do you believe that makes us God within ourselves?
What do I believe that makes us God within ourselves?
Yeah, and do you believe in a higher power outside of yourself?
Higher power without. I mean, I can't discount it. Just, I feel like, yeah, there could be a power also outside of ourselves that's higher. But I really like to believe that we are the highest power within ourselves. I believe that we are creators.
And how do you use that to manifest in your day-to-day life, or to create the things that you're trying to accomplish or do? Or, for example, what does it benefit in your life that makes you confident to use that as energy within yourself to do what you do in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, it's simple. It's that our thoughts create our reality. That we are the creators, and that everything we see in front of us was created in our mind, and that good thoughts will bring good experiences in life, and bad thoughts will bring bad experiences in life.
So, what's your input and perspective on positivity and negativity, and how do you handle positivity and negativity in your day-to-day life?
How do I handle positivity and negative? Well, I could talk about how I handle the negativity is, instead of trying to replace like if I have a bad thought, because it's human to have bad thoughts, I just try to fill my mind with as many good thoughts and optimistic thoughts as I can, instead of trying so hard not to think negative thought, because negative thoughts are going to come and go. But it's really about putting more and more positive thoughts in your head.
And what's your input on positivity and negativity, like your perspective on it? And
Well, positivity versus what I read is that what I'm trying to incorporate in my life. It's becoming hard to do, but I believe it's possible. is that not even labeling things as good and bad, because in labeling things as good as bad, that can create like negative emotions within yourself. Everything just is, and then it's your assessment of them, your mind's assessment on them that creates whether or not it's good or bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a calisthenics athlete,
Yeah.
and when you work out and do your calisthenics workout, what motivated you and started you on your calisthenic journey when you're working out?
What motivates me while I work out, or what motivated me to start calisthenics?
Both.
To start, yeah, I've been doing calisthenics 3 years now. What motivated me was a trip I went on, and that coming to the conclusion that, well, the definition of calisthenics is beautiful strength, and what I like to do is create art through my fitness, through my working out, like a Greek god statue. You know, when I hold my handstands and I perform various acts in the air, it's creating that beautiful strength to become a piece of art, and that's what really motivates me to continue doing it.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you feel about life outside of this planet?
Life
Let's
outside.
talk about it.
Life outside of this planet. Yeah. What about
Like-
it specifically?
Pick a subject that you know all about and that you know about that you want to talk about. I'm letting you like just go crazy right now. What's the first thing that comes in your head, and what do you have a lot of knowledge on that you could spill out to the viewers watching this knowledgeable information?
I'll let you speak on it first.
Okay, like who do you think created the pyramids?
Who I think created the pyramids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what history has taught us and told us is not true, as far as that they were created simply by just human labor. I don't believe that. I do believe that they were created by a higher power.
You grab my water, please?
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
I do believe that. I believe that they harnessed certain frequencies and they were able to levitate the blocks. Because the power of frequency has the potential, I don't know how to describe it scientifically, but to levitate certain objects. And they had access to that information. And that's how I was able, because everything is so precise in the pyramids as far as where they're positioned, and just like the cuts of the block.
If you have a good technique with figuring out all of the angles within the claw machine at the arcade, you yourself watching this video can win yourself a very own rubber ducky. Now this rubber ducky is pretty cool rubber ducky right here, as you can see. Yep. I got this rubber ducky in the arcade. Official rubber ducky. This one is a dragon or dinosaur.
Nice rubber ducky.
Dinosaurs, they lived over 100 million years ago in the Jurassic period.
Jurassic.
the Jurassic period, the Triassic period, and the Mesozoic era were different timelines within the geological spectrum of the Earth timeline, with every different timeline being a different phase within the evolutionary spectrum of the evolution of reptiles and mammals becoming and going within this Earth, this planet Earth, that created deposits all across the world, deposits of sedimentary rock. And a sedimentary rock is a stone formed by natural materials that are similar to slate, sandstone, and mudstone. Mudstone is mud that got transformed into slate. Sedimentary rocks can be different forms of sediment that got pulled and compressed and squished over time to house different sediments of the timeline within hundreds of millions of years, with inside of the sediment here in California, where you could find fossilized animals and creatures, such as in Santa Cruz, California. If you go to the Santa Cruz coast, you can find fossilized mammal bones, as well as fossilized whale bones, fossilized mastodon bones, and there's also different types of forms and species of dolphins that you can discover that are all along the coast, which are the most common to be found also are fossilized shells. One of the more rarer fossils to find in the Santa Cruz coast are fossilized shark teeth that are also found along the Monterey Peninsula and the coast of the Monterey and California Bay, because California was underwater hundreds of thousands of millions of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago. Actually, California was frozen, and you could also find mammal bones, Native American artifacts, mastodon bones that date back to 50,000 years ago. And there's different sediments and different formations all across California where you could discover these certain types of fossils. In Bakersfield, California, you're more likely to find fossilized shark teeth if you are looking for specific teeth. Now, diving into different topics, what is your experience with marathons? Have you ever, being an athlete, have you ever done a marathon before?
I used to volunteer at the Big Sur Marathon when I was in high school, and then I ran a few half marathons myself, and I ran a lot of 5Ks. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I think running's a great exercise in that we're born to run. That's why humans are like built upright. Their torso and lungs upright is that we're not fast enough. We weren't fast enough to hunt like certain items and catch them like that, but we had the endurance to eventually fatigue the animals. That's how the Africans hunt, I believe, is that they eat only every few days, and then they have to run and tire out the deer wherever they're chasing, and then attack it.
All across California, there are preservations of national parks, which, in fact, if you didn't know, these national parks in California become national parks because of certain animals and certain Indian reservations that have been occurring in the area. And if you were to find out all of the national parks in the United States, you will soon find out that these specific national parks are housing mysterious phenomenons of disappearances and creatures being discovered in these national parks with government facilities, with these specific government facilities
Yeah.
having buildings there without any explanation at all. So it just has you wondering, like, when I would go and visit Oregon, there would be certain areas with military personnel in these national parks with in the middle of the woods in all of these different types of national parks. Now, have you ever been hiking in a national park or camping?
Yeah, I've been hiking in Yosemite a few times. I went solo hiking. I went with a friend one time, went with my parents. I've probably been to Yosemite maybe about 5 times. I didn't live too far from it.
Okay. So what do you do to accumulate a lot of muscle mass at such a fast period, like in such a fast time frame? Like, how often do you work out? Like, what's your workout routine? And do you weightlift and do calisthenics, or do you just do calisthenics? Like, you care to explain like how you incorporate the gym and calisthenics, which is
Yeah,
body weightlifting?
it depends on the individual's goal or what they want to accomplish. But what I like to do personally, and I feel is a natural route, is obviously to be natural athlete. I don't take steroids, but I don't judge people that do, because everyone has different goals. And then if you're competing in bodybuilding, I mean, oftentimes to have a certain muscle mass that you need those extra stimulants. And I made no judgments for that. But for me personally, I like to stay natural, and I like to do a mix of calisthenics and weightlifting. Right now I'm at I'd say about 70% calisthenics, 30% weightlifting, just because I enjoy doing the body weight stuff and the hand balancing so much.
And when you have a diet, like, do you eat healthy or do you lean bulk or dirty bulk? Like, what does your diet consist of when you're trying to maintain a aesthetic physique?
Yeah, I don't have a strict diet per se, but it's more what I stay away from when I am trying to look my best and feel my best. Yeah, it's more what I cut out of my diet. I just try to eat as clean as I can. I try to stay away from sugar. I don't drink soda. I don't eat processed food. I do a lot of intermittent fasting, and that helps so much. And a lot of times I think with my nutrition, less is more. Like, I don't eat a ton of food, to be honest.
So tell me about the business you're building.
Business I'm building?
Yeah.
Regarding fitness?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Which one?
Any.
I don't want to talk.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it?
Cut that part out, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll cut it out.
You
can end it.